Yes, this the strong, beautiful, courageous woman right here who most definitely whooped cancer ass. Y'all give her some congratulations. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And this is a strong woman right here who listened to the spirit and was like, nah, I ain't finna do all of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna do all that. So I'm gonna let her tell her story. She gonna tell you from when she first got the so-called bad news about disease. Disease is only a illusion. Y'all know I teach that. And then to how she healed using the herbs, prayer. I mean, she gonna take y'all through everything. So yeah. So I'm gonna let her introduce herself.
Okay.
So what's
Shalom,
your name?
family. I'm Shantae. So back in March of 2019, I missed my menstruation. And I didn't think anything of it. And I gave it no mind, just kept going. And then one day my breast felt very heavy, as if my menstrual was coming. So I was kind of excited. But something just told me to touch my right breast and squeeze it. And I did. I squeezed the nipple and some brown liquid came from my breast, looked like iodine.
Mm-hmm.
So I immediately called my gynecologist because I had never seen that before. I never heard of anyone saying that brown liquid came from their breast. So I went to my gynecologist. He scheduled me to see a breast specialist to do a mammogram and an ultrasound. It came back negative. Nothing was wrong. Then he suggested that I see my primary physician, which I did. So the primary physician said that he suggested that I have a breast reduction because he said it was called ductilation,
Mm-hmm.
which was because my breast was so large. He said that it was pulling the nipple and causing an infection. So I'm like, okay. So I scheduled the appointment to get the breast reduction.
So far we got that your breast was feeling heavy one day.
Yeah.
So you went to squeeze it, and when you squeezed it, some brown liquid came up out of your nipple.
Right.
So you end up calling your doctor. You went to go get checked out.
Right.
The doctor said you was cool, but he gonna send you to another doctor.
Right.
You went to another doctor, and the doctor said what was happening was your breast was too big, so it's pulling on your duct lobes.
Right.
So he said that the duct lobes have caught an infection.
Right.
Right. So he wanted you to get a breast reduction, and then you scheduled your breast reduction.
Right.
Okay.
So my breast reduction wasn't until September.
Mm-hmm.
So all this time, my breast was still leaking.
Right.
And it was leaking to the point where it would be in my hand, but it only leaked when I messed with it. If I didn't touch it, it wasn't in my bra.
Right.
So they scheduled me for this breast reduction. So I had the breast reduction. After the breast reduction, I went for my follow-up a week later.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, everything's good. And, he walked out the room and I was putting my clothes back on. And he came back in and said, oh, by the way, we found cancer.
You see that? You see how they do you? Oh, by the way, we found cancer. No prep work. No, none of that. So she ended up getting the breast reduction done. So, of course, when she get a breast reduction, they always take a sample of the flesh and they send it to a pathologist. So obviously when they sent her cells off to the pathologist, he noticed that the cells was damaged. Remember, that's all cancer look like. All cancer is a basically a atypical cell. All atypical mean is that it's starting to lose its structure and it collapses itself. So when they see a cell doing that at the point of no return, that's what they call cancer. That's a mutating cell. So they telling her that she got cancer now, right? Then prep her for it, then tell her, remember, everything before this, they said you was cool, right?
Right.
Now, all of a sudden, they telling her she got cancer.
Right. So he says, so I'm startled because that caught me off guard.
Right.
I was in the hospital for 2 days. He never said nothing, never told me I seen some abnormal tissue.
Right.
You were in there, you saw it, never told me anything.
Right.
So to tell me that in the way he told me, I was startled.
Right.
And I started crying. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. Because my mother died from cancer.
What was that emotion that came over you? Was it like fear or like I can't believe this? Or and then you just said your mother
astonished. I was scared. I went so much scared. I was just shocked. Like,
you know what to think.
What? Wait a minute, hold on. And then he started doing this. He was like, don't worry. you are okay. Because I was crying. And he was like, don't worry. I scraped it all off. It's nothing. He kept doing this. He was like, you're fine. That was game. That was running.
Yeah, so check this out, y'all. So after she started crying, once they told her that she got cancer, breast cancer, he told her, don't worry. He scraped all the mutating cells off,
Right.
which is some bull crap anyway.
Right.
But that's what he telling her, I guess, because he feeling bad because he done told her she got cancer, and then she done went berserk. She crying and everything. So he tell her that he scraped the cancerous cells out of her breast during the breast reduction.
Yeah.
This is what these doctors be doing.
That's what, and he was doing these hand gestures.
Yeah.
And so he's like, don't worry, you're okay. And I just couldn't stop crying because that was just something that was just, I don't know. Yeah. So then he said, well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to send you to another breast surgeon, and he's going to do some blood work and just make sure I got it all off. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay. So I kind of felt reassured that I'm okay. So I went next door because it's in the same office, but next door.
Right. And
I'm like, well, they told me to come and I said, this doctor told me to come over here and schedule an appointment. Something about some cancer. Right. That's exactly what I said. So the receptionist, she looking it up. She's like, huh? What? We don't see nothing. I'm like, well, he's telling me. She was like, where's the paperwork? I'm like, he didn't give me any paperwork. He just told me I had cancer and I need to come and see you all to make sure the cancer is gone because he scraped it off. And they started looking in the charts and they was like, we don't see any cancer. We don't see anything that says you have cancer.
Right.
I'm like, well, this is what the doctor's saying. So I went back to the doctor next door.
Right.
I'm saying, can you tell me what it is I should say, because they're saying they don't see anything in my chart that's saying I got cancer.
Right.
So the doctor wrote it down, DCIS.
Right.
So I took that paper. I'm still not knowing what this means. So I took that paper next door and they was like, DCIS. They started reading like, we don't see this in your chart, but we'll just go ahead and schedule you to see this doctor.
Right.
See the doctor.
So they schedule you anyway.
Yeah. Okay. So that was a Tuesday. So the Thursday, I went to see this doctor that was next door. And he sat me down and he was like, I'm sorry, about the bad news that you heard. So now I'm confused because I'm like,
right.
Okay, well, I'm here for you to,
let me know if I have cancer or not.
You to do the blood work to confirm this.
Right.
So, and I was like, should I reschedule since I still had all the stitches and everything? Should I just reschedule? Because I really don't want anyone touching my breast right now with all, the surgery I just had. And he was like, oh, no, you don't need blood work. How old are you? No, you don't need blood work. You got cancer. And I said, well, the other doctor said he scraped it off.
Right. And then the thing is, and this is the game they play. So when they did the breast reduction, when they take that mass out, it automatically goes through a pathologist. Can't no other doctor tell you have cancer but a pathologist, because what they do is they take the cells and they put it under a microscope. And that's the only way you can tell if a cell is mutated, damaged, or is an atypical cell. So he telling them this, but that he ain't put this in the paperwork. So she had this whole new other doctor, and you can actually check blood work for the blast account, seeing how high your blood cells is and all that to tell, okay, this is in fact cancer. This is in fact leukemia. This is ductwork cancer, any type of cancer. It's so many types of cancer, all of them dealing with the lymphatic system. But the dude telling her, look, we don't even need to check your blood. You got it. And then he asked the age. So at this point, when I'm hearing this story, it's like, this is a money scheme. What's really going on here? Yeah. Because what they're doing is they falsely diagnosing people, thousands of people, especially African Americans, each year with cancer, because they get $17,000 every time they give you chemotherapy or radiation treatment. And if you take their chemo pills, that alone is $15,000. You see what I'm saying? Backed by insurance claims. So they're falsely diagnosing African American women and African American males with cancer, HIV, AIDS, all type of diseases, because that's what keep the pharmaceutical companies making their money.
Right. So, I started back crying with this doctor, and he was like, I said, so you're not going to do any blood work or anything? Because he told me you were going to do blood work to make sure the cancer was all scraped off my breast. off the nipple. And he said, you don't need that. You have it. And right now, what we're going to do is we're going to cut this breast off. And then he lifted my arm up and we're going to take these lymph nodes out.
You see that? Now, I just want to, now look, this is what they do. I done had so many women down me because they find out that they got breast cancer, and I tell them, whatever you do, don't go through the surgery. And they let them cut their breasts off. Not only do they cut the ductwork out of the breast, but your breast is the biggest lymph nodes on a woman's body. Remember, I always teach the only way you can get rid of any cancer, get rid of any protein, get rid of any atypical cells, any viruses, herpes, whatever it is, it have to be flushed through the lymphatic system. Well, what's a part of the lymphatic system? Lymph nodes.
Right.
Lymph nodes.
Yeah.
We just had a woman, E-Baby, on her. E-Baby, what's your friend name that just made the Most High have mercy on her soul, but she just died. And when I came to her, it was too late at the time. I ended up giving her the healing package and everything, but they had took both of her breasts and took all of her lymph nodes from the whole right side of her body. So she couldn't even drain. So my whole thing was trying to figure out, okay, how we gonna get these cancer cells up out of you if you have no sewage system for it to flow through, because they took her septic tanks, or what we call the lymph nodes, out of her body. So at this point, they trying to kill you.
Right.
So look, they talking about taking her breast. She ain't seen no paperwork saying she got cancer. She ain't talked to no pathologist yet. And this dude lifting up her arm telling her, hey, we finna take your breast and we finna take out your lymph nodes. Right. We gonna take away everything. How we can heal you, we gonna take that away from you.
Right.
Go ahead.
Okay, so then he's pointing to where they're going to cut me at, and then he's like, and then we're going to give you an implant, and then we'll tattoo a nipple on that, and then this breast will lift that one up so it'll match this breast. And I was like, wait a minute, wait. This, you're going too fast. I need some time to think. He said, no, you don't have time to think. So he's now making me feel like I'm at stage 4.
Yeah, like you finna die.
And he's like, you don't have time to think. We have to get this ready. He was like, where you work at? And he looked in the system, seeing my insurance. He's like, yeah, we're going to notify your job. You're going to have 8 more weeks off from work, because I was already off 4 weeks.
From the surgery you just previously did.
So you're going to be off work for 8 more weeks. And each week, we're going to we're going to put a balloon in you and fill it with water. And I was just like, okay. So I was like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, I got to get out of here, because this is all just new to me, and it's just too much. Right. It's just too much right now. So he was like, I'm going to schedule your appointment. So I was just like, whatever. By this time, I'm tuned out. I'm daydreaming, spaced out. So he takes me back to the first doctor who did the surgery.
And this is the doctor. So look, she going back to the first doctor, the one that said that he scraped the cancerous cells out.
We went back to him. Mm-hmm. We went to his office so that he could schedule this appointment. See, everything's happened so fast. You know, we went back to his office, and his nurses are saying, well, he's not in right now. He's off on Thursday, so he's not here. So then he takes me back to his office, but to a different department, and he's scheduling the appointment for me. Right. So they have it all scheduled for October 2nd, and that was like 2 weeks away. And I'm just like, I couldn't even open my mouth to say, wait a minute.
Yeah, but what they do is a scare tactic with them. So they like bulldogs. Doctors are like the mob. They like the mob. They like, no, we gonna do it this day. And the whole thing is, because if you get time to actually think about disease, you be like, why in the hell I'm gonna let them cut my breast off and remove? Like, if you do any type of research on your own, you're gonna be like, hold on, this is what's gonna kill me. The cancer ain't gonna kill me. It's them chopping off my breast and taking out my lymph nodes that's gonna kill me. So then you're gonna tell them no. So their whole job is claim and money. Yeah. Let's hurry up and schedule and get it done. Yeah. That's what they do.
Right. So he scheduled the appointment.
Hold on real quick. So her name was Rhonda L.D. Hunt, y'all. May the Most High have mercy on her soul. She just recently died of the same situation. They ended up cutting off her breast, cutting out all of her lymph nodes, and it ended up going into her lungs. So may the Most High have mercy on her soul. I tried everything I could, but once they take off the breast and they take off the lymph nodes, it's real hard to cleanse you. So That's why if you are in a situation like this, y'all need to contact me ASAP, because we can at least start draining the other side. Now, if they take off both the breasts, you still have lymph nodes right there in that foreskin that covers up your breastplate, that covers up your chest. But once that get infected, then it seeps into your lungs. Now you got lung cancer. That's why if you look it up, 99% of women who have breast cancer end up dying of lung cancer, because their lungs end up filling up with water, and they literally they drown to death, or they suffocate to death because they can't breathe. You see what I'm saying? But met her with the beautiful sister. E-Baby got me in contact with her, had a long conversation with her. And when she told me that they took her lymph nodes and they took her breast, when she said they took her breast, I was like, okay, cool, dang, that was gonna be the way I heal her, through the ducts. But then I'm like, so how many lymph nodes did they take? And she told me all the lymph nodes, and I'm thinking in my head, I wanted to be as positive as possible to her, but I'm thinking in my head, like, how in the hell is we gonna even cleanse you? I don't have a sewage system to drain, because they took it. So I'm just glad you didn't let them do that. I'm so glad you didn't let them do that.
No. So I went home that day, that particular day.
Hold on, one more. Look, Orlando Thomas. What up, Uncle O? Shalom, brother. I ain't gonna hold you up. They tried to force me to have surgery, and then when I refused, they brought in a what?
Yeah, psychiatrist.
You see that? Look, hey, these doctors in this pharmaceutical company is like the mob, y'all. They the mob. Yeah. Ain't that stuff crazy? So you ain't the only one that even went through that. Look at all these people. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow. So then that's when I called Mally.
Mm-hmm. So now we talking about our big brother, Malachi McAfee. A lot of people on here know who that is. That's my big bro. And so after all of this, I don't know what's going on at this point. I ain't heard about this. None of this. Last time I heard sis, she was out of town. So I ain't know nothing about nothing. All of a sudden, she reached out to Mally. At this point, I still don't know what's going on. So when you reach out to Mally, what was that conversation?
I was telling him exactly what happened. I was telling him how I missed my menstrual, how I saw the leakage, how they told me, oh, it's just an infection because your breasts are big, and to get the breast reduction. And I said, and I did that. And he was like, why did you do that? And I was like, it was the doctor. And matter of fact, it was a doctor that I trusted. I went to this gynecologist for 15 years.
He was mad that you got the breast reduction?
He was like, you should have told me, but it's just, at the time I was back and forth between Champaign and St. Louis. I just wanted to get better. And I didn't think about how severe it was. Right. I'm thinking, okay, I don't like this liquid coming out. Cancer was the last thing from my mind. Right. I was never thinking cancer. So I was just like, sorry, but let's move on from here.
Let's get this done.
So he was like, okay, I'm gonna pray for you. He was praying for me. We prayed for a long time. And he was like, I got a brother, got some herbs, get on it. And I was like, okay.
But y'all see, the main thing she needed to talk to Mally. Mally gave her that motivation. He prayed for her. So this show you healing, spirituality. You cannot mention healing without spirituality. Right. First thing she did is went to Mally. Mally prayed over her in the name of Yahweh, of course. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And put that universal force on her and got her lifted up. And this is the first step to healing. It's healing energy-wise, healing spiritually. So she went and got prayed over. And then when she talked to Mally like, look, I got a bruh that you need to holler at with some herbs. So once that happened, then what?
So that's when I called you the same day.
Oh, you called me that same day? So would you take them through the conversation, everything we had?
So you asked me what was my diet. Mm-hmm. I told you that day I was eating some beans and cornbread. You said, throw it away.
I called her. She called me, right? We talking. And I'm like, so what's your diet? She like, well, look, I cut out the meat, but I'm eating beans, cornbread. She talking about everything, stuff that's worse than meat. I'm like, look, you got to throw that away. I'm like, you got to throw that away right now.
And I said, I got the beans on the stove. I'm going to throw them away right now. And I threw them away. And we talked, and I was telling you about what they saying the cancer is, and you was telling me that was abnormal cells.
Yeah, all it is and look, quit letting them scare y'all with the word cancer. That's the most BS word I ever heard. Whenever you have a common cold, guess what that is? That is abnormal damaged cells. Mm-hmm. Whenever you have an infection, guess what that is? That is abnormal damaged cells. Whenever you have any type of disease, any type of head trauma, anything that's going on with your body that is not, when it's in its holistic state, that means that the cells inside of your body are atypical, or they becoming disformed or damaged. This is what you clinically label as cancer, y'all. That's what cancer is. So like they be scaring y'all with these big words because y'all see a lot of people die from the treatment of cancer.
Right.
You ain't never seen nobody die of cancer. Can't none of y'all on here tell me one person that died of cancer, but a lot of y'all can tell me of people that died that had cancer that got treated for it. So we see what's killing y'all. It's the treatment of it. The chemotherapy, the radiation, the surgery. That's what's killing y'all.
Yeah.
These are facts, y'all.
Because my mother had cancer,
Mhm.
but on her death certificate,
Mhm.
it says she died from a heart attack.
Yes, from the chemotherapy, and a lot of them die from heart attacks because what happened is that chemotherapy and the radiation dries out the cells, and then when it dries cells out, it leaves something called a glucose ash. It's a burnt ash that stay on the cells. This dry out the rest of the body, which dry out the arteries. Now, when it dry out the arteries, something called edema set in, and that's literally when the water starts to gain into the legs, and then the upper body, the circulation stop, and that's cardiac arrest.
Mhm.
All this comes from the treatment of cancer.
Right.
This another sister right here that's on here that's been kicking cancer butt. Raina Lewis. That's one of the strongest sisters I know. She brew.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to get y'all in contact with each other. I'm talking about she been beating tumors, passing parasites. I mean, all types of stuff. Like that woman strong right there. She done lost a lot of weight. I mean, she been kicking cancer ass too. So shout outs to Rena. Everybody give a shout out to Rena on here. Rena Lewis. She out here whooping cancer ass too. Like we really have some strong black women up in our community, y'all.
Yeah.
Some bros would have been folded and like, go ahead, give me the treatment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But look, cancer do not kill people. The treatment of cancer kill people. Y'all look me up. If I'm wrong, look it up.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you end up talking to me. I made you throw away the beans and stuff. And then
Right.
What happened after that?
And then we met up the next day. But prior to us meeting up, I called my gynecologist.
Okay.
And I'm telling him everything that these doctors at Mercy Hospital telling me. Because my gynecologist is with St. Mary.
Okay.
So I'm telling him everything that they're saying. He's like, well, where's the paperwork? He's asking me for the
paperwork. What was I asking you for? I'm like, where the paperwork?
I didn't have any paperwork.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't have any paperwork. So my gynecologist had me to come in, sign a authorization or release form, give them authorization. So that's what I did. So he didn't get it the day that he asked for. He got it 2 days later.
Right.
So when he got it, he had me come in. He was like, well, you don't have cancer. What you have is DCIS,
right,
which is stage 0.
Mm-hmm.
And he's saying it's just like with a pap smear, how a woman has an abnormal pap smear.
And what they call it is atypical cells. So when say if you go to the gynecologist and they say, well, we seen some atypical cells inside of your vagina wall. That's all they saying, which is still cancer because it's an abnormal cell. That's what they playing this mind game with us. You know what I'm saying? I think the word cancer's got such a bad stigma on it that we just automatically think it's like death and stuff like that, and it's not. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And one of the worstest stages of cancer, me personally, coming from a person I know, which would be Raina. I mean, it spread cancer typically don't spread, but it was in her bones. I mean, cancer was everywhere in this woman. It's not in her bones anymore. She had tumors. She don't have the tumors no more.
Wow.
She got one little spot that we're working on now, which is on her throat. And that's it. So can't nobody tell me that you can't come back from cancer but she didn't get the treatment. She started off on the treatment. We made her stop taking the treatment. She stopped the chemotherapy. She stopped all of that. And then her body literally done regenerated itself. So it's all a lie. And this is living. She's on here right now, living proof.
Yeah.
So these people be lying to us. Yeah. Just imagine what you'd be going through right now if you would have let them take your breast. Yeah. It'd be a total different conversation. You wouldn't be right here right now.
Yeah, you're right. So once the gynecologist got involved, this was I trusted him because he was always, giving me pointers on how to eat right. So that's why everything he was saying, I was believing him until he said, yeah, let him go and cut your breast off.
Yeah, money.
And I was just like, are you all friends? Because
they are.
I was like,
they the mob, sister.
You all friends?
They the mob.
Because he went from saying when I didn't have the paperwork, he was like, that's not how you practice medicine. You don't tell a person they have cancer and not give them paperwork. You don't practice medicine like that. He's like, I'm going to go to the board on them. I'm going to report them. And then now all of a sudden saying, yeah, let them cut the breast off. If you were my daughter, you know, I'm not forcing you, but if you were my daughter, I would tell you to go ahead and cut the breast off. And I'm like,
I mean, but it's dark forces that controls this industry. The pharmaceutical companies and the hospitals. Rothschild Jr., David Rothschild, or Rockefeller, whatever we want to call him, Jr. He's actually he owns all of the hospitals, most definitely the Jewish hospitals. Mm-hmm. He owns Mercy, and he owns every pharmaceutical company. Y'all can look this stuff up. So y'all know these go down to these 13 bloodlines, go back to the bloodline of Satan and all this type of stuff. I know it sounds like spookism, but this is real stuff when you look it up. Right. So and that's why they don't heal anything. They kill and they make money off of it.
Right.
That's why they don't, because they promote a death culture. They don't promote living. They will never prescribe you herbs. They will never say to stop eating, go on a fast. The very thing that they do is going to be chemicals. It's going to be very acidic, and they want your body in living hell. Then you die painfully. Then they dope you up. They kill you, and then literally they make a claim on your insurance claim, and they make money that way. So you didn't pay them from all the chemotherapy. You didn't pay them for the surgery, and then when you die, they even back an insurance claim off the insurance to use to kill you in the first place.
Wow.
Stuff is dead.
Yeah. It is.
Mm-hmm.
So after all of that, the doctors really started calling me. So I had an oncologist calling me. Mm-hmm. I had all these other doctors calling me. So they were like, I was like, I just need time to think. I haven't had time. All this is all happening within 1 week. I'm like, I just need time to think about it, which I already knew I wasn't going to do it. But I don't know. Something just came off me where I couldn't tell them no. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's like they were just pressuring me.
That's that spirit of anxiety and fear they put on you, and you be so scared and so full of anxiety, you end up letting them take your life. I know so many people like that. For instance, the sister that E-Baby just LaRonda Hunt, and beautiful spirit, beautiful heart, a very good mother to her children, but she let them back her into a corner, and they took it too far. And once they took everything, it's like, sister, I love you. I got faith that we can heal you, but I really don't know what else to do, because I don't have no other systems that I can cleanse, because they literally took the systems that cleanse her body, they took them out of her body. And she died like 2 to 3 weeks after she received her herbal package.
Oh man.
Yeah. So you most definitely blessed, sister, for real.
Yes, I am. I'm grateful.
Yes, you are. You really are.
I am.
So go ahead.
Okay, so now it's time to get the second opinion. Mm-hmm. I still hadn't had the second opinion.
Right.
So I'm at St. Mary's to get the second opinion. So they did the ultrasound, they did an MRI, they did the ultrasound, the mammogram, and the MRI. Mm-hmm. Nothing's coming back on the pictures. Nothing. Mm-hmm. So then she calls. So I'm telling Mally what they're telling me. They don't see nothing. So we praising God.
Right.
Because we don't see nothing. But then she says, but I think you should have a biopsy.
Right.
So I'm like,
now, the biopsy is what the first doctor did in the first place, but he did it because her breast was already open. So a biopsy is when they go through, and if it's a tumor, they poke the tumor and they get a live sample out of it and they test the cells. But they finna go in where they think the cancer is, and they finna take a sample out, and they send it to a pathologist, because a pathologist is the only people on earth that can tell you whether or not you have a stage of cancer and which stage is it, because they have to look at the cell under a microscope or through a laser to see the behavior of the cell. So now they're talking about the biopsy. Okay.
So then I had the biopsy. So that comes back, and the doctor called me like 2 days later. She called, and she's talking all around everything. And I'm just like, okay, what's going on? Mm-hmm. Do I have cancer? Well, no, but there is something going on, but we just don't know what it is. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, all right, is it AIDS? What's going on?
And cancer and AIDS, the same thing. If you have stage 4 cancer and you go get a HIV or AIDS test right now, you would test positive. That's how you know it's the same disease. They just name it different things, y'all, so they can get different residual income. Same exact thing.
Yeah. So I'm just like, okay. I told her about the oncologist. I said, oncologist called me and told me I need to come in for consultation. I said, then somebody else called me talking about radiation. So I need to know what's going on, because I can't just take off work. Right. I've already been off work long enough. Because by this time I'm back at work. Mm-hmm. what's going on? So she was like, well, I want you to just come in one more time so we can talk. And I was like, okay, this time I'm not going to the doctor by myself. I'm taking a man with me.
Right, exactly.
I'm taking a man with me because all this time I've been going by myself and y'all been scaring me.
Mm-hmm.
So I took a guy with me. Mm-hmm. And so now they're saying, well, we don't know what's going on. Is the liquid still coming out? I said, no. Since I've had my breast reduction, there's no liquid coming out. The only stiffness, the soreness is from the surgery. Mm-hmm. I said, but I don't see nothing. And she says, well, you know, you don't have cancer, but. So when she said that, I'm like, she was like, but.
So how long ago was this visit from when
October?
So from when Mally prayed, and at this point, did you already come to me?
I came to you in the end of September. No, I came to you the beginning of October.
The beginning of October. Mm-hmm. So you already had the herbs.
Yeah.
Had you started on the herbs?
I started on the herbs and my diet.
And then so when did you get the
after?
So you got the sample and the biopsy after the herbs.
Right.
Okay. So
they also had me spit saliva in a thing.
They got to swab you.
Yeah.
Check your
for
DNA.
This, and that's what they tested me. Not the biopsy. Yeah. The saliva is what they saying. Oh, no, you don't have cancer, but we still think you should just go ahead and cut your breast off because it could come back.
Y'all see that? So look, she have cancer. She get prayed over. She take the herbs. She keep the diet because she did keep the diet, y'all. Yeah. Then after all of this, they scheduled her for another biopsy. The first biopsy was done when she was getting her breast reduction. That's what came back to be cancerous in the first place. She get prayed over. She take the herbs. What all herbs did you have? Then I'll give you let's talk about the herbs real fast. So y'all know I gave her the 3 bitters, right? How did them 3 bitters taste?
I had to hold my nose and take them, but I took them. It kind of looked like mud.
Once you really take it.
But I took it. I did.
So how did it make you feel? Was you on the toilet?
Yes.
So how many?
Every day. Sometimes 3 times a day.
Did it have you throwing up or anything?
No.
A lot of people throw up
gagging from the taste, but no.
Did it have you sleepy? Was you energetic off of it?
Because I had changed my diet too. I had cut everything out.
And y'all see that? She kept her diet, y'all. Just like Raina. Raina kept her diet, y'all. You see that? Like, it's a lot of people, when you see these healing testimonies, it's people that's keeping their diet and they stand in a strong mindset and they not letting nobody bring them down. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Look, Raina said it tastes like motor oils.
Or dirt.
Or dirt.
Grass.
That's what it is. It's literally bark.
That's what it tastes like that. Yeah, because I was telling my girlfriend she needed because they said she got cancer in the finger.
Yeah,
I'm trying to tell her
cancer in the finger.
Yeah, it looked like a hangnail.
Yeah, you see, but all it is a abnormal cell. That's what cancer is.
I told her you need to take this, but she's like, "No, you said it tastes like dirt."
Yeah,
it was just different.
What I gave her was my amino acid therapeutic package level 3. It came with all the capsules in it, the 3 bitters, the tinctures. It came with the tonics. It came with all of that stuff. I'll keep telling I'm finna let Mally in. Okay. So when you get the herb, let them know what's going on now at this point.
So I take the herb. I started off twice a day because that's what it say, or sometimes 3 times a day. But what I did was I just took it once a day. I just took everything all together to get it over with because I just couldn't take it no more. Did you hear me? I just had to take it all at once. And I was like, I can't do this twice a day or 3 times a day, but it all paid off. So then when I got the last...
Here go Mally, y'all. Come say what's up to your family.
Shalom.
So when she first found out that she had the bad news, this who she called, this who prayed and laid hands on her. This the bro I've been talking about. He also on the website too. So if y'all need anybody to pray for y'all, spiritual encouragement.
Facebook.
Yeah, one more Facebook. Y'all need any of that. What y'all do is go to my website, click on company, then click on directory. He right on there, his the number, his extension number, the email, everything. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to have spiritual advice too while you healing. Okay, so now after she take the herbs and stuff, after she get hands laid on her, after she get prayed over, that's when they call her and say, look, let's do the biopsy. Let's take some more samples. Mm-hmm. So now she go to the doctor and then they like, well, we didn't find nothing. This is after the prayer. This is after the spiritual motivation. This is after the herbs. This is after that. Now they can't find anything. So now what they saying now, We
still should cut your breast off just to make sure it doesn't come back.
Do you see how these mobsters roll?
No, not just one breast. They want both breasts.
So after she's cleared of cancer, she don't even have cancer no more. Right. They do the biopsy, it's gone. They saying that they still want to cut her breast off. Both of them. What is that, y'all? What is that? It's a money game with them. It's a money game. So of course you told them no, right?
Yeah, but she wouldn't let me leave out the office. She's like, I just don't think you should leave and not do nothing. You should schedule an appointment to see the oncologist. She just kept saying the oncologist. And I'm like, why do I need to see the oncologist? I don't have cancer. Well, it's just consultation, but you're going to bill my insurance company.
Right. So I
got a copay.
You see that copay building is all about money. Well, look, y'all don't understand. Cancer and AIDS have become an industry. It's an industry now. It's called the cancer and AIDS industry, backed by the pharmaceutical companies, y'all. It's about the money. Death is big business, y'all. You don't make money healing people. Y'all thinking I ain't making no money healing people? Huh? Yeah. The money is in death, backed by insurance claims. That's where the money's at. That's where the money's at, y'all.
They also told me I should do radiation.
See that, which is 17. Remember that. Look this up, y'all. $17,000 every time you go through radiation.
5 days a week.
5 days a week. $17,000 times 5. What is that?
For 6 weeks.
For 6 weeks. They making $100,000. They making a killing, bro.
I said, do I have any tumors? Why do I need radiation? Do I have tumors? No, you don't have tumors.
So look, she don't even got tumors, y'all. And then all a tumor is nothing but undamaged. It's damaged cells that's packed up with fluids, and they don't have nowhere to go. So what happens is called conglomeration. They start sticking together, and then it builds up tissue. So they say tumors, and a lot of people say, well, they tumors, but they ain't cancerous. Every tumor is cancerous because it's undamaged cells that stick themselves together.
Yeah, they doing word sorcery.
And that's why I've been trying to say word sorcery.
I was telling her though when she would call me, and I'm like, look, we ain't accepting none of that. Whatever they saying, we gonna rebuke it, and we gonna believe and focus on the outcome we want. Yeah. We not accepting none of that. Come on down to the headquarters. We gonna lay hands on you, pray over you. We gonna change up your meal plan. I don't even like saying diet. Meal plan.
Right.
You understand? And by the time she went on back, she already was shooting negative. They kept trying to do word sorcery.
Yeah.
You feel me? Because they didn't know what was going on. You know what I'm saying? So look, it's all praise to the Almighty, man. The Most High is real. You understand?
Yeah.
All glory going to Him, and that means He green lighted that from the heavens.
Yeah.
I mean, He okayed it from the heavens for healing to go forth. They were trying to chop this woman's breast off
and take out her lymph nodes.
Yeah. And then all the way down to when who was that? United Healthcare. Who was that? They got in touch with.
Oh yeah, United Healthcare. They call.
And look, they ended up closing the whole case.
Yeah.
Hold on. Yeah, we jumping. Hold on. We jumping. Hold on. That's the interesting part right there. Yeah. And this is how you know it's all about money. So they trying to get you to go to the oncologist, right? And they say you should schedule another appointment. This is after you free, you cleared of the cancer. You don't have cancer no more. But they still want to cut off your breast, right?
Right.
Okay.
They want me to take these pills for 5 years. This is so it don't come back.
Y'all take this pill for 5 years for the cancer don't come back.
Then they say you got to do the radiation, or you could do the chemotherapy. Right. But I'm like, well, if I don't have cancer, why do I do chemotherapy for? Why are they even calling me? She told me, I don't know why they're calling you. I'm like, well, oncologists are calling me because I asked her, well, who are you? So many doctors were calling. She said, I'm the oncologist. Well, what is the oncologist?
Right.
Well, we do chemotherapy.
Right. Y'all see that? So they looking for that money. And do y'all know that chemotherapy, it leaves a burnt ash at 3.2 on a potential hydrogen scale. That's enough to burn through concrete, y'all.
Yeah, they doing word sorcery.
And that's why I've been trying to say word sorcery.
I was telling her though when she would call me, and I'm like, look, we ain't accepting none of that. Whatever they saying, we gonna rebuke it, and we gonna believe and focus on the outcome we want.
Yeah.
We not accepting none of that. Come on down to the headquarters. We're going to lay hands on you, pray over you. We're going to change up your meal plan. I don't even like saying diet. Meal plan.
Right.
You understand? And by the time she went on back, she already was shooting negative. They kept trying to do word sorcery.
Yeah.
You feel me? Because they didn't know what was going on. You know what I'm saying? So look, it's all praise to the Almighty, man. The Most High is real. You understand?
Yeah.
All glory going to him. And that means he green lighted that from the heavens.
Yeah.
I mean, he okayed it from the heavens for healing to go forth. They were trying to chop this woman's breast off.
And take out her lymph nodes.
Yeah. And then all the way down to when who was that? United Healthcare. Who was that? They got in touch with.
Oh yeah, United Healthcare. They call.
And they end up closing the whole case.
Yeah.
Hold on. Yeah, we jumping. Hold on. We jumping. Hold on. That's the interesting part right there.
Yeah.
And this how you know it's all about money. So they trying to get you to go to the oncologist, right?
Right.
And they say you should schedule another appointment. This is after you cleared of the cancer. You don't have cancer no more. But they still want to cut off your breast, right?
Right.
Okay.
They want me to take these pills for 5 years. This is so it don't come back.
So, take this pill for 5 years, but the cancer don't come back.
Then they say you got to do the radiation, or you could do the chemotherapy.
Right.
But I'm like, well, if I don't have cancer, why do I do chemotherapy for? Why are they even calling me? She told me, I don't know why they're calling you. I'm like, well, oncologists are calling me because I asked her, well, who are you? So many doctors were calling. She said, I'm the oncologist. Well, what is the oncologist?
Right.
Well, we do chemotherapy. Right.
Y'all see that? So they looking for that money. And do y'all know that chemotherapy, it leaves a burnt ash at 3.2 on a potential hydrogen scale. That's enough to burn through concrete, y'all. 3.2 acid. That's acidosis. They're treating acid with acid. They're treating acid with acid, y'all. And the reason you feel good or shrink tumors is because it literally kills trillions of cells at a time. You have 150 trillion cells in your body. Radiation and chemotherapy kill trillions at a time. So of course, if cancer there, it's gonna be gone. But what about all the good cells that was around it? Yeah. You're killing those too. So they call it the emission. Basically, when you don't have it no more, they say that the cancer have killed the cancer. Now you're going to remission. Remission is, if y'all look it up, it's not even a state of being cured. It just means that the chemotherapy killed the cells for a while. If you look at the statistics, 2 to 5 years from you being completely free from cancer killing your cells, and then you using cancer, what they call chemotherapy and radiation to get rid of the so-called cancer, it comes back. And when it comes back 10 times harder.
Wow.
So chemotherapy is what kills you.
That's crazy.
It don't heal cancer at all. Raina, how long was you on chemotherapy before you came to me? She said, oh my God. I was also told radiation 5 days a week for 6 weeks.
Yeah, that's what they told me.
It said that messed my body up. I stopped treatment and then I reached out to Yahki immediately. Now, when Raina came to me, she was mad. I mean, Raina, we're gonna do your own testimony, but Raina she had tumors still, and that's the crazy part. Out of all that chemotherapy they gave her, she still had tumors in her. We was working with her 2 weeks. The tumor that was right here ended up busting in her stomach, coming out. Her stomach ended up becoming hard as like this table, so they had to rush her to the hospital. That drained out. I mean, we was pulling so many tumors and so many worms and parasites and blood clots out of her. It was crazy. And I'm like, what did all that radiation do then? It didn't even take nothing up out of her. Didn't take nothing up out of her. Crazy. Yeah.
They using our people's guinea pigs.
Straight guinea pigs.
Yeah, that's what I told the doctor. I said, I feel like y'all got me as a guinea pig because you had me do all these surgeries. Yeah, you're telling me the problem is still there.
It's still there.
All along the problem that wasn't there.
So what was the point of all of that in the first place? It's a scare tactic to get money. And again, y'all, yes, they did find cancerous cells, but all that mean is your body is sick. When you that's cancerous cells. That's an atypical cell. It's a damaged cell. Your body is trying to get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
So they calling this stuff these big old scary words like cancer, which have all type of demonic witchcraft sorcery names to it. So when you hear it, it automatically do something spiritually that just shuts you down. Yep. Now your adrenals messed up. Your kidneys ain't working because you got fear in you. So it make you give in to the system. So now you're paying them to kill you.
Yeah.
Man, that's how it go, man. Straight word sorcery, bro.
You start fearing.
Yeah.
False evidence
appearing real. Exactly.
Right, and you accept it. You accept it in your mind. You feel me? If the mind receives it, the body follows.
Yeah.
So if your mind receives sickness, fear, and everything else, that's how your body gonna react. If your mind receives healing, health, power, the body will follow.
Exactly.
You feel me? It's the same thing. We do it spiritually and on a physical level. It's the same thing. That's why when you was hollering at me, I'm like, we ain't accepting none of that.
Accepting your curse.
We're not accepting none of that. That word sorcery, your diagnosis means nothing.
What you say, big bro? Them are real curse words.
Yeah, those are real curse words.
Cancer is a real curse word, y'all.
We're not accepting none of it, but what I was doing was boosting your
belief.
Your belief.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let you stay down there and accept that you're sick. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
I personally believe all sickness should be eradicated.
Yeah, and that's how you got to take it.
Yeah.
And the crazy part is that's how they get you though. Most of the time, look, your body is going to have abnormal cells. That's the whole reason for your lymphatic system. It's constantly cleaning abnormal cells. So at any given time, you can go get tested and they'll tell you that you have cancer. Any given time. You know what I'm saying? And then people taking vaccines. Just imagine most of our black women putting perms and chemicals in their hair. Yeah. That don't leave from your bloodstream. That's been in your body for years. That can cause cancer. Yeah. A lot of people wearing these unhealthy bras that got the stuff inside of them. Get you 100% cotton bras. That causes breast cancer. Yeah. I mean, it's so many things that causes basically atypical, or what you would call a dying cell inside of the breast of a woman. But they gonna tell you cancer and then they gonna treat it, and that's what kill you. The breast cancer don't kill you. Change your diet. Make sure you believe in Yahweh. Believe that He your true healer, and get on His herbs. His herbs will cleanse. I'm talking about will cleanse you out real good. Yeah. And now look, it go another person that don't have so-called cancer.
So we talking about belief, right? Right. And what you put in your body.
Yep, exactly.
So we talking about spiritual food and physical
food at the same time.
Look at the results.
She don't have it no more.
Look at the results.
So okay. So after everything done, right? Okay, and she trying to get you to schedule. Let's just get the rest of this story. So they try to schedule again. Did you even go back to them? What happened?
No, I didn't schedule, and I never went back. And that was the end of that.
She did get her paperwork though, and that's the paperwork that I posted on Facebook. Right. Her paperwork, she is in zero range, no cancers, no mutated cells, none of that.
But when she gave me the paperwork that said negative, she didn't give it to me, open and excited. It was in a folder.
She like, you won.
It was in a folder, and she gave me the folder.
That's evil, man.
While she's still trying to tell me and convince me I should get my breast cut off, and I said, like Angelina Jolie.
You're right. So look,
like Angelina Jolie.
And they say cut your breast off because you have the cancer genetic cells or markers. Look, everybody got a cancer gene. The only way a cancer gene could be turned on if you put it in a cancerous environment.